Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you had a great and wonderful day. Well, so we have some interesting and crazy news here. It seems that the Boeing guy, the whistleblower, is no longer alive. He is deceased. Apparently, there was a suicide note, and no, by the way, YouTube, I'm not condoning suicide. This is not what I'm saying. Do not get on me about this whole, I'm condoning suicide type of deal. No, I am not doing that. However, this is a crazy thing that's been going on here with the Boeing whistleblower, and I have a lot of information to give to everybody, so here we go. We have this here from Colin Rugg. And just in, a suicide note that was allegedly found next to Boeing whistleblower on John Barnett, who was found dead in his truck with a gun in his hand. A hotel staff member found Barnett after someone contacted the hotel for a wellness check on him. Barnett had his right pointer finger remaining on the trigger with a gunshot wound near his right temple, according to the police report. A white piece of paper that closely resembled a note was on the passenger seat next to him. The contents of the note had not been released. Barnett's lawyers say there was no indication Barnett would have taken his life. John was in the midst of a deposition in his whistleblower retaliation case, in which he was finally nearing the end. He was in very good spirits and really looking forward to putting this phase of his life behind him and moving on. We didn't see indication he would take his own life. No one can believe it. We were all devastated. We need more information about what happened to John. The Charleston police need to investigate this fully and accurately and tell the public what they find out. No deal can be left unturned. This is weird, and it is weird. I'll be showing you guys the actual video of him, of this happening, kind of what before happened. And the crazy thing here is that people can easily, the weird thing is that he was dead in his truck. It's a little odd why he would be dead in his truck. So that's a red flag, number one. And two, here's another thing as well. It seems that people are trying to understand, anybody can write a suicide note for somebody else, and anybody can place a gun onto where the person was killed at, killed in the Pacific Hand, they would say, on their temple. So it's not really a surprise by me that this would be a possibility of being a fabricated suicide attempt. And whatever. And no, this is not me trying to undermine suicide here. This is not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is that for such a case of this happening, and what we're going to be reporting here, is a bit odd this is all going on. So we have this here that he's made. There's some things that says approximately 10:17 hours. Officer Ward responded to 301 Savannah Highway Holiday Inn, located in the city of Charleston, in reference to a welfare check. Officer Ward arrived on scene, made contact with a hotel employee, redacted, who advised there was a male in Clemson Orange Dodge Ram pickup truck with a firearm in his hand. Sergeant Feeders, Officer Ward, and Officer Drayton cautiously approached the vehicle and intended to make contact with the male party. It should be noted there was no active stimulus in the vehicle. While visually clearing the vehicle's officers noted a white male in the driver's seat with what appeared to be a silver handgun in his right hand resting on his lap, and his right pointer finger was still remaining on the trigger. The male had what appeared to be a gunshot wound near his right temple and showed no signs of life. Laying in plain view on the passenger seat was a white piece of paper that closely resembled a note. CFD Tower 105 was requested to assist in opening the passenger side door by utilizing a Slim Jim device. Once access was gained into the vehicle, the aforementioned Silverman handgun was removed from the male's hand for safety reasons. I don't know why that would be removed for safety reasons since he's deceased, but I digress. Shortly after Medic 03 pronounced the victim deceased in at approximately 10:33 hours, it should be noted that a DMV search of the vehicle yielded a registration return to a John M. Bennett victim. Furthermore, Officer Ward spoke with the general manager, redacted, who advised the following. A guest by the name of John Bennett checked into room 511 with the expected departure date of 30624. Barnett extended his stay to 308 and was expected to check out that morning. Surveillance video of Barnett exiting the hotel on the morning is available upon request. It should be noted that the address provided on the guest paperwork from redacted was redacted. etc., etc., etc. So, yeah, there's not much going on here. Now, we go on to the next one. This is the actual video at hand. This is a 60-year-old Boeing whistleblower, John Barnett, found dead in his truck after he didn't show up for a legal interview linked to a case against Boeing. Barnett worked for Boeing for 32 years and retired in 2017. After retiring, Barnett spoke out about how Boeing was cutting corners on their airplanes. Just days before his death, Barnett gave evidence in a lawsuit against Boeing. Barnett accused Boeing of deliberately fitting substandard parts on their aircraft. He also accused Boeing of having faulty oxygen systems, saying 1 in 4 breathing masks would not work in an emergency situation. Barnett said new plane builds were rushed. When he brought his concerns forward, they were allegedly ignored by the company. When he died, Barnett was in Charleston for interviews linked to a case against Boeing. He was supposed to come back for more questioning on Saturday, but did not show up. Inquiries were made to his hotel, where Barnett was found dead in his car in the parking lot. Police are investigating Barnett's death, but say he died from a self-inflicted wound. The video was also a recent interview Barnett had with TMZ today, Totally Normal. Here we go.
And I know the FAA's gone in and they've done due diligence and inspections to assure that the door plugs of the 737 are installed properly and the fasteners are torqued properly. But my concern is, what's the rest of the airplane? What's the rest of the condition of the airplane? And the reason my concern for that is, back in 2012, Boeing started removing inspection operations off their jobs. So it left the mechanics to buy off their own work. So what we're seeing with the door plug blowout is what I've seen with the rest of the airplane, as far as jobs not being completed properly, inspection steps being removed, issues being ignored. My concerns are with the 737 and the 787, because those programs have really embraced the theory that quality is overhead and non-value added. So those two programs have really put a strong effort into removing quality from the process. When I first started working at Charleston, I was in charge with pushing back defects to our suppliers. And what that meant was I'd take a group of inspectors and actually go to the supplier and inspect their product before they sent it in. Well, I'd taken a team of 4 inspectors to Spirit Aerosystems to inspect the 41 section before they sent it to Charleston. And we found 300 defects. Some of them were significant that needed engineering intervention. When I returned to Charleston, my senior manager told me that we had found too many defects and he was going to take the next trip. So the next trip he went on, he took 2 of my inspectors. And when they got back, they were given accolades for only finding 50 defects. So I pulled that inspector aside and I said, did Spirit really clean up their act that quick? That don't sound right.
So, this one has like 7 more seconds left, but essentially is that he seemed very spry, quite happy, and it doesn't seem like he's suicidal by any stretch of the imagination, which makes this completely weird. It's, you don't just come from this type of perspective and automatically, whoops, I'm just, I'm deceased. It's really weird. And, I'm really concerned on what's going on here. And then we have more from Colin Rugg saying that Boeing whistleblower Joe's Barnett lawyer is casting doubts that Barnett died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Lawyer Brian Knowles is referring to his suicide as alleged. John had been back and forth for quite some time getting prepared. Their defense examined him for their allowed 7 hours under the rules on Thursday, Knowles said. Barnett was in Charleston for legal interviews in a case against Boeing when he died, etc., etc. So you guys know pretty much what that is. Now, we have this here. This is the actual footage from Wall Street Silver. This is, secret footage was captured of Boeing engineers saying they would not fly on these planes. The 15 people who are asked those questions were working on the flagship product, the 7887 Dreamliner. The people on the assembly line have little faith in the plane they built, so we're going to go over this.
The 787 Dreamliner. But this footage reveals some have little faith in the plane they built.
Did you fly on one? No. You won't fly on one. Did you fly on one of these planes?
No, not really.
Of 15 workers asked randomly, 10 said they would not fly on the Dreamliner.
wouldn't fly on one of these planes because I see the quality going down around here.
An employee captured the footage after contacting Al Jazeera to tell us he had serious concerns about what he was seeing. At his request, we changed his voice.
With all the problems reported on the 787, there's 90% that's getting swept away. Hushed up. It's an iceberg.
In another meeting, the source told us workers are often underskilled, uncaring, and in some cases on drugs.
I've seen a lot of things that should not go on at an airplane plant. People talking about doing drugs, looking for drugs.
It's all coke and painkillers and what's that other one? You can get weed here. It's really good weed here. They don't drug test nobody.
I know they don't.
And there's people who go out there and want to go smoke one up.
So what we're seeing here, obviously, is not something that seems to be being too great. Obviously, smoking on the job, especially when it requires, as high tech as, building a plane, it doesn't look too good. And a lot of these people's actual problems and questions of the Boeing engineers themselves say they wouldn't even actually fly on the plane. There's too many issues, too much other stuff going on here. Which would go back down to the Boeing type of Boeing people hiring a lot of, far left individuals and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem like it's great. So there's some, and again, let's go to here, exactly, right? When this guy said that he wanted to be kept anonymous and not have his voice changed, because he probably would realize that he would be the one maybe deceased. So this is something that is interesting here, because this guy wanted to remain anonymous because, he probably would know that he would probably be deceased at some point or another. And when this guy speaks his mind about the whole situation and is going to court and stuff about this, he mysteriously vanishes into thin air. So I'm not quite sure on what's going on here, but something seems a little fishy. Somebody seems like they might be the ones doing something behind the scenes, and we need to kind of expose this person, because I'm also thinking that this may not be an actual suicide. I may think that he was murdered by some higher up official, Clinton style, and I think it definitely needs to be highly investigated. So we'll see where this turns out. Hopefully for the good instead of not for the better. So yeah, not great. Alright guys, that's it for the video. Like, subscribe, share. As always, take care, my friends.
I'm disgusted by what I see in public. Even people closest to us can't be trusted, 'cause it's algorithmic disease, the social media.